What is up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of FitBizU. I'm your host, Jill Coleman, and today I want to chat about what is called the runway. Now, the runway of your launch is everything that happens before cart open. And so this is timely for me, number one, because we're in our runway for FBA. So if you have not gotten onto the FBA interest list, the FBA waitlist yet, you can go to jillfitfree.com/FBA-waitlist. That's jillfitfree.com/FBA-waitlist to get the early details for our next launch, which is coming up in about a month, which I'm excited about. But I want to talk about this because I'm also getting ready to do a talk at a live event called Raise the Bar in Dallas next week. And it is all about having your biggest launch ever. So it's actually called Anatomy of a Six-Figure Launch. And last year at JillFit, we did 5 six-figure launches, and 3 of them were multi-six-figure launches, and only 2 of them we used paid traffic for. So I want to talk a little bit about how we kind of do that. And I wanted to name this episode Runway Magic because what I see from a lot of people is they want to launch something, but they sort of rush the process. They don't really take their time. And I did this certainly in the first few years in JillFit. I didn't really put a lot of time and energy into the nurturing process, warming people up, getting people excited about the actual sale. Instead, I was like, something's open. It was just like, here's this thing, or maybe I would even just do one webinar. I do a free webinar and then I would sell on the webinar, which is very simple, right? It's like, hey, like I have this offer, maybe it's a low ticket offer. I just want to do a quick webinar, get some people on there and sell it. And that's totally fine. However, if you are in a position where you have some great offers, maybe you have some great coaching programs, you have group offers, maybe you have DIY offers, maybe you even have some one-on-one coaching, higher ticket stuff, and you have a great product suite, but you want to get more butts in the seats, right? So you have a great product suite, but you want your launches to be bigger. If you want to have bigger launches, you need longer runways. So this is something that I heard from Alex Hormozi, and I love the way he put it. He said, the longer the runway, the bigger the plane that can take off. The longer the runway, the bigger the plane can take off. And so if you are thinking about how can I make my launches bigger, first thing you'll have to do is probably do fewer launches. Now at JillFit last year, I think we did 9 or 11. We did a lot last year. We did some flash sales. We did some bigger launches. We did some little launches. We did some back end launches, front end launches, things like that. So this year, our goal is to actually get our launch calendar down to 7, 7 instead of 11 from last year. And we probably want to continue to dial that back and to even get a little bit more strategic with that as we go through. But if you want to have larger launches, there's no way of getting around the fact that you need more time. You need more time to get people excited for the thing you are selling, getting them nurtured, getting them getting on their radar, building familiarity, steering the conversation. In FBA, we actually call this anticipation phase. Anticipation phase is the time before the launch, before the cart opens, where you're getting people excited about the fact that this thing is coming. And today I want to share with you what I consider to be the 3 tracks that you need to have in place between launches. So we've talked about this before. I would love for you guys to think about, out of everything that you sell, what is going to be, or what is your signature offer? So we've had this conversation quite a bit about what we call the ascension model, where you have different products in your product suite. Maybe you have a lower ticket offer that's maybe a DIY, maybe you have a group coaching program, and maybe you have a one-on-one coaching offer. So those 3 things make up your product suite. I have a one-on-one high ticket, I have a group offer, and then I have maybe a DIY. Maybe I have several DIYs. That's fine. And so when you have these 3 different things, looking at those offers, which one of them would you consider to be your most important offer? And to me, that's going to be your signature offer. It's kind of like your magnum opus. Like, what's the thing that if people didn't do anything else with you, you want everyone to go through this specific thing? And so at JillFit, that program is FBA. FBA stands for Fitness Business Accelerator, and it's our beginner to business course. It's a 6-month course, and we really want most of our people to come into our ecosystem through FBA because it's the best place to start. When people go on to Legacy or they go on to our more advanced mastermind, they do much better in those programs if they have FBA as the foundation. And so our goal at JillFit is to get as many people going through FBA as possible, which means that's our signature offer. We launch our signature offer twice a year. So you want to think to yourself, okay, if I really want to make these launches bigger, I might have to launch it less frequently. And so if right now, maybe you're launching something like 4 times a year. I had a client who was launching something every month at one point. So think to yourself, maybe twice a year, maybe 3 times max for this signature offer. Now, I get that sometimes you have to launch sort of like, out of your ass because you're like, I need money and you need like a cash injection or something. That's certainly how I was the first couple of years at JillFit. I was doing all flash sales. It was like, this thing's available. This thing's half off. This thing's 25% off. Like I was constantly doing flash sales for like little money. And that was fine, but I needed cash infusion. I need to make, a couple $100. I need to make a couple $1,000. Now at JillFit, we have plenty of money like in reserve, right? That we're not having to like launch something like every single month to make money. It's like we have, plenty coming in from like monthly receivables and payment plans and things like that. And we have plenty in our savings that we can afford to take a little bit more time between launches. So for your signature offer, this is the one you want to grow, right? This is the thing that you want to grow. So for us, it's FBA. I'm not sure what it is for you, but this thing that you want to grow, you need to take more time to get more people in this program. And the number one way to get more sales in the program is to get more people warmed up ahead of the sale. So I want to share with you 3 different tracks that we use at JillFit. And these start literally the second we close cart for FBA. We start these 3 tracks. The second we close cart for FBA, we start the nurturing process for the next launch. We launch every 6 months. So for you, maybe it's if you're launching 3 times a year, maybe it's every 4 months. If you're launching 4 times a year, it's every 3 months. If you're launching twice a year, probably be 6 months apart, give or take. So for us, we launch 6 months apart. So the second we close cart for FBA on that launch, we start the nurturing process for the next one, because we know that the longer people stay in our ecosystem and the more experiences they have with me, the more touches they have with me, the more times they listen to this podcast, they're going to get warmer and they're going to start thinking to themselves, maybe I do want to do FBA, or maybe, maybe I do want to apply for legacy, or maybe I do want to do the mastermind. And so our whole goal is to get people nurtured between launches. So the first track, and this is the very first one we do as soon as we close cart, which is the waitlist track. So as soon as I close cart, everything goes away and we start a brand new waitlist. And in that waitlist is just the call to action to join the interest list or the waitlist for that program. There's no sales page. It's not like a long thing. It's literally just a very simple landing page, very simple sign up page that says, hey, this course is closed right now, but if you want to get early details or an exclusive bonus or discount, make sure you get on the interest list to get the details first before anyone else. So if you go to jillfitfree.com/FBA-waitlist, you will see that link right there. And that's exactly what our waitlist looks like. Now, we usually want our waitlist to convert at about 25%. That's our goal for that page. And I think for us right now, it really is converting right at 25%. Remember, it's not going to have a very high conversion rate on that landing page because people are literally opting in for a potential sale. They're not opting in for any value. They're not opting in for any solutions. They're literally just opting in to hear about a product. And so your waitlist is going to be your first thing. Now, your waitlist track will be pretty much all organic, which means you'll kind of weave this call to action into your organic content between launches. It can be on stories. It can be on your podcast if you have one, just like I do. It can be, a PS in some of your marketing emails to your list, things like that. I would recommend having that as like an evergreen call to action between launches whenever it fits in. So for example, I have my FBA live calls every Tuesday. And a lot of my clients will tag me because we're on video, we're on Zoom, and they'll put it up in their stories on Instagram. I'll regram their stories because we're literally on an FBA call. And then I'll say, join the FBA waitlist. So it's really easy to share a call to action for the waitlist if you're just talking about the program in general, even though the program is currently closed, right? I want it to be on people's radars and building familiarity, getting people excited about it, getting it on their radar. So your first track is your waitlist. That's going to be purely organic. The second track is what I call the long road track. This is going to be an evergreen lead magnet. So evergreen means people just can get it anytime. It's not like a webinar where everyone has to show up at the same time. It's not like a challenge where everyone starts on the same day. It's evergreen, so people can download it or consume it whenever they want to. As soon as they opt in, they get access to it. So this is what I call the long road evergreen lead magnet. So we have something running. Usually for us, it's a PDF. We've done an e-course as well. We did an e-course called Content Bootcamp, which was really successful. Now we are running a PDF to the top 20 business building apps that you need to build your business in 2023. And it's just a PDF. It's about 5-6 pages long. And it's converting at about 64%, which is great. And it's converting pretty much to just middle of funnel, like warm traffic, and also cold traffic. You have it on ads. I have not promoted this thing at all organically, but we've had it literally running since November. So we closed cart in October for FBA. October is FBA started, and then we started this in November. So it's been going November, December, January, now February, and we've brought in close to 1,000 leads into this download. And that's all happening behind closed doors. But here's the key. For the second track, yes, you're giving them something of value, right? It's a PDF, or it's an e-course, or it's a video, or something they can consume right when they opt in. But here's the key. Is once they opt in for that thing, I don't just leave them there. I don't just put them on my general email list to get my weekly broadcasts. I actually do a nurture sequence with them. And so we have an 8 email nurture sequence that goes over the course of maybe it goes over the course of 8 weeks. Maybe it's even 16 emails. I forget. But it's like over the course of a week. So they opt in. They get this immediate value in the download, and then they hear from me twice a week, every week thereafter. And it's a very specific nurture sequence just for these people because, some of these people have never met me before. Some of these people have never followed me on social media. They're brand new to my ecosystem. They're brand new to my audience. They don't know me. They don't know my story. They don't know I'm an expert. They just wanted this download. So once they get in, we start emailing them twice a week. And the emails are purely value adds. So we know at JillFit that if someone listens to a handful of episodes of FitBizU, they tend to really like this content. They tend to binge listen. So for us, we really want to get people listening to the podcast. So when people opt in for this lead magnet, one of the emails they get each week is a podcast email. It's like, here's one of the podcasts you should go and listen to FitBizU, click this link to listen to FitBizU. There's always a call to action for FitBizU. The second email we send each week is actually just a repurposed Instagram caption. So these emails are not like, brand new emails. They're repurposed Instagram captions, which have some kind of business insight, business strategy, something like that. So we actually create that and just put it as an email. So it's pretty short. It's like, an Instagram caption is like less than 500 words. So twice a week, they're hearing from me over the course of like months after they opt in for this thing. And in every single one of those emails, there's a PS to get on the waitlist for FBA. That's the only call to action. Well, I guess the call to action would be to listen to the podcast, but in every single one of those nurturing emails, remember, this is months before FBA opens up. There's a call to action to get people to opt in to our FBA waitlist. And right now we convert about 13% of those people to the waitlist. So if 100 people opt in for the download, 13 people will join the waitlist, which is pretty good. This is also all just like back end stuff. And so that's our track 2. It's our long view or long road evergreen lead magnet. That can be running year round, right? It can be running year round so long as the metrics look good. I don't do any organic promotion for that, although of course you could, but we just want it running in the background. So we just have it on ads. Third track. And the third track is what we call the short road live lead magnet. Short road live lead magnet. Short road meaning happens right before you open cart. So before we open cart for FBA, we always have some kind of, we call a sales mechanism, but really it's just a value add. It's a webinar, it's a 3-part video series, it's a challenge, it's an e-course, something that happens right before the sale. And that third track is sort of like where you have people's attention and you're getting them some wins. So remember, long road, they're downloading a PDF. Now, I hope that they open it up. I hope they read it. I hope they use it, right? But I can't really tell. But the short road lead magnet, that this happens right before the sale. I can monitor people's progress a lot more closely because we're in a Facebook group or they're on a webinar, I'm doing 3 videos or something is happening where I'm giving them some homework. I'm holding them accountable to something. I'm helping them take some action for free. I'm getting them what we call low risk wins ahead of the sale. So for FBA, typically we do a 3-part video series. We might change that in the future, but right now that seems to be working for us. So we're doing a 3-part video series and We put a lot of organic promotion into that, and we also put a lot of paid traffic promotion into that as well. But like I said, all of that happens right before cart opens. And the idea behind that is we want to get people some wins. We want to show them what it's like to be in FBA. So that short road live lead magnet will be experiential. It will give them a taste of what it's like to work with you in your signature program. And so when you have all three of these tracks, right, you have waitlist track, which are your warmest leads. You have long road evergreen lead magnet going in the background, right? Where you're just getting people on your list, you're getting them nurtured, you're getting them warmed up. Like ideally, like we have people who joined our lead magnet back in November, got on the FBA waitlist, have been getting emails from me now for months. And I'm hoping that because of that time spent with me and the wins they've been getting and the insights and the things they've been learning, they're going to be much more likely to want to dive into FBA because they've been on my list now for months. Live lead magnet right before the sale, that short road lead magnet, chances are sometimes when you bring in people from cold traffic, like ads, they're not as warm, right? Because they're maybe just brand new to you. So they're always going to be the toughest to convert, which is why I really want to give you guys the insight about this long road evergreen lead magnet. This is something we have not really done in the past. We did it a little bit before last launch in September. This is the first time we've done it for literally months ahead of time. And so I would say this is probably the most prepared we've ever been for our launch because we've been doing a lot of this stuff for a lot longer. So all of this to say, if you have a big goal and you want more butts in seats and you want more people to be enrolling in your signature offer, you're going to have to spend time, literally weeks, if not months ahead of time, getting people warmed up, getting them into your ecosystem, nurturing them, getting them some wins so that by the time you open cart, they have familiarity around the offer. They know what it is. They've potentially signed up for the waitlist. I think at this point we have over 800 people on the FBA waitlist. And they've been getting some great value from you. They've been getting some homework. They've been getting some tools and tips and strategies. They've been doing some stuff. And it's your job to get them excited for when you finally open cart for your signature offer. When you combine these three tracks, waitlist track, long road, lead magnet, short road, live lead magnet, that gives you a bigger, much bigger pool of people to pull from into your paid offer. So the reason why we're going over this, I'm calling this runway magic because I think so many people don't think about that. All they think about is the sale. For me, I'm barely thinking about the sale. I'm constantly thinking about how can we get more people excited, nurtured, get them some wins, get them in my ecosystem. I'm constantly thinking not only about the sale, I'm more so thinking about the leads. I'm like, I want these people getting wins. I want them listening to the podcast. I want them taking action in their business. I want them getting excited for FBA to come. So everything that happens before the sale, if you can maximize all three of these tracks, and of course, it's going to be practice. If you can maximize all three of these tracks, you're going to have a much, much, much better chance of converting more people when you finally get to cart open. So don't just be like, oh, I need to launch something and like launch something next week. Take your time, take a beat. It's your business. You can push back a launch if you need a little bit more runway time. But that is the launches that are going to be the most successful have taken the most time to get people excited for that launch. So less launches, but done better. Hopefully that helps you guys. Wanted to go through that because that's exactly what we're doing right now in the business. Hope that gives you some ideas for your next launch. Take a beat. Be a little more strategic with it. Let me know how you do. Of course, you can always DM me at JillFit at FitBizU. And of course, if you are not on the FBA interest list, you can see this in real time, exactly how we do all this stuff. You can go to jillfitfree.com/FBA-waitlist. All right, y'all. That is it for me. Have a great rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.